There's a look at Frank Liles as he gets ready to go. And he had some thoughts about his opponent. Frank Liles coming off that loss to Tim Liles. He prepares for Merqui Sosa, and he told us earlier tonight how he sees the fight developing. His comments on Merqui Sosa.
I've seen him fight before. He's very aggressive. He's a powerful fighter. He comes in. He doesn't have great defense, but he has a good offense, so I guess he makes up for the defense. I have a strategy in the way I'm going to fight him. Basically, the way to fight this guy, Merqui, so I'm a boxer, puncher. The best thing for me to do is to go out to fight my fight. To do what I do best, head movement, use my legs, lateral movement. We worked on a lot of things in the gym. I'm in great shape for this fight, so I'm very confident that I'll prevail.
There is a look at Frankie Liles, Syracuse, New York, now fighting out of Reseda, California. He is set to go, losing that USBA title bid to Timmy Liles back in July. And there's a look at Merqui Sosa. And we check in with Chuck for the official introduction of our main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the North American Boxing Federation at ringside this evening is Mr. Sammy Macias. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening. The judges are Marty Salmon, Bill Graham, and Chuck Giampa. Your referee is Toby Gibson. This is the main event of the night. 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Super Middleweight Championship. Introducing, in the red corner, formerly of Syracuse, New York, now fighting out of Sherman Oaks, California, weighing in at 167½ pounds, with a professional record of 21 wins, 1 defeat, with 14 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Frank Liles. And in the blue corner, fighting out of New York City, New York, he weighed in at 165½ pounds. His professional record consists of 21 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw, with 17 KOs. Here is Merqui Sosa.
Toby Gibson calling them into the center of the ring.
Instructions to both you in your respective dressing rooms.
Let's take a look at those NABF rules, Arnie.
Well, the key thing on the NABF rules tonight is the standing 8 count is not in effect. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The boxer can be saved only by the bell in the last round, and the doctor can stop the bout. That's your key thing. Otherwise, 3 judges and a 10-point must. You know those rules.
All right, we're set to go. 12-rounder, our main event on the Bar and Racetrack Network. Our tail of the tape, tall super middles, Arnie.
Absolutely, but we've got Steve Barreras and Quarty there, so perhaps I'll just wing it for you. Frankie Liles is, let me see.
We're set to go.
We're going to go.
Round number 1.
We'll catch you later on the tail of the tape.
Promise. Merqui Sosa coming out big time and looking to land that overhand right, and we are underway. Out of the Dominican Republic is Merqui Sosa, and Frank Liles, Syracuse, New York, as you saw, fighting out of Sherman Oaks and fighting a lot out of Reseda as well. Sosa on the attack. And we talked with his camp earlier today. They were not concerned at all that Liles is a left-hander, Arnie.
Well, and it looks like they had, regardless of what they say, they had preparation, because that right-hand lead that just landed by Sosa was exactly what he needs to do.
Merqui looked like he might have just gotten a minor thumb in the right eye as he's squinting very noticeably, but trying to wipe something out of his eye.
Real quickly to catch up on some of the key elements of the tail. Liles has a 3-inch reach advantage over Sosa at 77 to 74, and he's only a ½ inch taller. Otherwise, everything's about the same, folks.
Frank Liles taking it to Sosa. Sosa not known for his defensive prowess. He's known as an offensive guy. Frank Liles was very focused, and I felt rather tense earlier today, but he is landing 2 rights and rocking and buckling the legs of Merqui Sosa. Frank Liles.
Sosa did get a right in there in between, and this is sort of right now. Both guys doing what they do best. Frankie Liles fighting his fight at the same time. Sosa's leaning on the ropes, fighting peekaboo style, which is sort of classic Merqui Sosa. But I think he was hurt by that combination before.
He is definitely hurt midway through round number 1. Frank Liles totally in control, and Sosa having trouble seeing for some reason. I see him squinting. Frank Liles looking far sharper than he did against Timmy Liles.
And certainly much more aggressive. He shouldn't be backing off right now. Whatever reason he's got Sosa hurt, And if there's something wrong with his eyes, it's his job just to take advantage of it and go in there and bang away.
Almost what we... Big shots, and Sosa is, as we said, no standing eight. He's going to have to fight his way off the ropes, and he's not doing it very effectively. There's already a cut, and I'm trying to feel, we see the blood, maybe the right eye of Merqui Sosa. We can't see from our vantage point.
Both of Sosa's eyes are puffed up, both of them.
It looks like almost like he was thumbed or something.
Yeah.
That right eye, he's keeping it closed and protecting it with his glove. Barry trying to get through the round to weather the storm.
We said he's still got some seconds to weather here. Frank Liles, a beautiful uppercut.
Trainer always wants to get his fighter through the first round. Get him through the first round, bring him back, let's talk business now.
Stop punching, stop punching. Get in the corner, time. Come here.
There is a timeout as we will check with the ringside position. Is there I wonder if, as I said, he was squinting 30 seconds into this fight. And I think he got thumbed early, but he wants to continue.
Well, he's got to survive. You know, there are fighters that would turn their back. If you remember John Mugabe against Dwayne Thomas, he got thumbed, turned his back, and walked away and wouldn't fight for the rest of the night. He quit. That was it.
Yeah.
The fight was over. Merqui's doing what he's got to do. He's weathering the storm. He's getting through the round. What Liles has to do is take advantage of it right now and just bang away. And I think Frankie's taking off.
He is still squinting noticeably, as we can see in that right eye. He's going to be just there for the take with that left hand all evening, unless he can clear that up some way.
I talked about scoring that first round 10-8. How we score a professional boxing match in the 10-point must system is 10 points to the winner, 9 or less to the loser. If a fighter is extremely dominant in a round, as was Liles in that last round, we scored a 2-point margin, 10-8.
Frank Liles, as we said, coming off that July 8th loss, looking very impressive, taking advantage of the thumb in the right eye of Merqui Sosa.
What Liles needs to do now is throw a lot of lefts from an angle that Sosa can't see it coming with that eye closing.
Merqui Sosa, as we said, coming in with an impressive mark of 21-2, but he has shown nothing along those ways. He's trying to fight back now on the attack, but he is a one-eyed fighter effectively.
But Merqui Sosa's like a Timex watch. Takes a licking and keeps ticking. He'll be here for a while.
He's trying to land some shots.
He's got that right-hand lead working, Huey, but it's just such a handicap right now, and he's got a big welt under there. And there's the uppercut by Liles, which is very effective.
They got to get the end swell on that eye in the corner, Arnie. They didn't work on it too well last round because the doctor was there, but they got to get the end swell on that right eye right away.
Liles, as you said, trying to get that left in there as that right eye continues to bother Merqui Sosa. He's trying to land some shots, throwing wild rights, trying to get some sort of offense going in round number 2 thus far. It's been all nice uppercut by Frank Liles. Rocks Sosa.
Important to point out that they're fighting for the vacant NABF crown vacated by Michael Nunn when he went to fight Victor Cordova for the title that he won. And that was a good right-hand lead. Hurt Liles.
Merqui Sosa punching and then throwing down Frank Liles, and Toby Gibson calling the two fighters.
Shit, I'll give him a fight. Let's go.
Takes a lot of strength, a lot of energy to get up from that.
Toby Gibson using very curt language to get the point across to the combatants in round number 2.
Well, I think that was a very good point to get across by Sosa that, hey, I may have only one eye open right now, but I'm not dead.
You know what? This fight is going to be stopped, I think, within the next round or so because of that fact that eye is swollen almost shut. We're only in the second round.
Sosa trying to fight off the ropes, and Liles just staying just far enough away.
Fight open 9-5 favoring Sosa, then jumped to 2.5-1 favoring Sosa.
Liles looking at that eye, trying to pick away. Round number 2, Merqui Sosa is surviving, but I think that's the only way to describe it.
Give your friends the gift of fun.
Back to boxing. Enough of the language courses here.
The eyes look like it's opened up just a little bit. I think maybe you were right, Arnie. I mean, that eye was hurting him to stay open. That way he favored closing it.
If that's what it turns out to be, Frank Liles let a great opportunity slip away from him where he should have, you know, just shot his wad, take his chance.
Round number 3, it's our main event, the NABF Super Middleweight Championship. Frank Liles in the white trunks, Merqui Sosa in the purple with the white trim. And thus far, the man in the white trunks, Frank Liles, looking far more impressive as Merqui Sosa tries to shake off the ill effects of a thumb in the eye in the first 35, 45 seconds of round number 1, and the vision for him from that side is not very good. Sometimes nothing at all. Sosa tries that big right shot.
That's that overhand right. That's the only punch he's really landed tonight that has had any effect on Liles, and it hurt him.
You know, Frank Liles should be taking advantage of the fact the man's only one-eyed, and he isn't. He isn't giving him movement. He isn't throwing punches at angles. Frank Liles, not the most intelligent fighter in the world.
Okay, Pedro, I want to identify that that was you. No.
How to make friends and influence people.
No, but I agree, and I had said earlier, I think that should this fight get past 6 rounds and Sosa's eyes start to clear up, Frank Liles is going to realize that he let a great opportunity get away from him.
Good left cross.
Good left. Is Liles might have heard us urging here at ringside as Sosa just coming in trying to brawl, trying to land anything he can. Liles, in his last fight against Liles, was simply just not aggressive enough. He just wasn't there with enough pressure.
He went into a shell when he got cut in the second round, and that was all there was to it. He fought a defensive fight from that point on.
Is this deja vu, except Merqui Sosa's a victim this time with the swollen eye?
Although Merqui seems to be getting
that eye's starting to open up pretty good right now. Yeah. He's keeping his right hand very high.
And that's his big shot, is that right hand. So we'll see if he can. He's trying to land the big shot that he's known for. He's got an 80% knockout ratio. Has Frank Liles been aggressive enough when he's had his man hurt? That's the question.
Not in my mind. He should have thrown caution to the wind. He should have went after Sosa.
Sosa going after the home run, comes up with a whiff.
Well, Merqui Sosa, though, has had better competition and a lot more experience, in my opinion.
He's had 121 total rounds to Liles 84, and he's been +8 rounds 7 times.
And plus, he's been in with the likes of James Toney, Tyrone Frazier, Tony Thornton. So, and a fighter, and I'm sure a lot of our people have seen him, Sanderline Williams.
Yes.
Who he holds the victory over. On the other hand, other than Tim Littles, I don't think you've heard of anybody that Frankie Liles has fought.
I think Sosa's headhunting. He hasn't gone to the body.
Hi, I'm Zach Rebikoff.
Round number 4, our main event, the NABF Super Middleweight Championship belt is on the line. Himalaya ringside with Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal and Pedro Fernandez, and Merqui Sosa landing a quick left, and the eye is clearing and the aggression is coming.
And all of a sudden, Frank Liles' eyes got big as saucers.
There was really no disputing the fact that who was the bigger puncher coming into this fight. And if Sosa can clear up his eye, I think we'll see the kind of power that his camp touted him on.
Sosa chasing him around the ring, Arnie, not cutting it off.
It's the second time Frank Liles has been on the mat, neither by punches.
Well, I think the exuberance right now of being able to see and realizing he's back in this fight has him a little ecstatic, maybe a little over-aggressive. If you ever listen to Rocky Marciano's recreation of when he was blinded during the first Walcott fight, you'd get an idea of what that feeling's like when your eye finally clears up. Or Ali, when he was Cassius Clay in the first Liston fight for that
Toby
matter.
Gibson really scolding both fighters for their wrestling tactics. He warned both between rounds to cut it out. And he doesn't take a lot of stuff to keep the lines clean here. Yeah, Sosa definitely has cleared up as far as his eyes. His aggression still isn't that effective, but he seems far more confident at this point.
Starting to work the body, though.
He's got Frankie Liles fighting in a retreat now, where Liles is fighting moving back. And I think he's becoming very effective. Liles had a 3-round party, and I don't think he really had as good a time as he could have.
Sosa, as we say, the confidence, although is it effective aggression? We'll have to see. Right now it has not been that effective. Nice left going after that eye again is Frank Liles, and effectively landing the target. Both fighters ranked in the top 10 in the world governing bodies as Lyle lands at left.
I've got to say right now, regardless of what happens, definitely a tip of the hat to the corner of Merqui Sosa for the job they did in that eye. Miguel Diaz, Bruce DeLuca, Pat Versace did a dynamite job so far.
Frank Liles gets in some very weird positions in the ring and often loses his balance. He's been down twice already. Not by virtue of any punches by his opponent. Sosa on the attack. Right at the end, and Toby Gibson has to pull them apart again.
Are you getting?
Round number 4 highlights, gentlemen.
Now, at the end, Sosa did what he needed to do at the tail end of the round to make sure that he secured getting that round on the judges' scorecard. Finishing it, and you can see Frankie Liles is fighting. He fought that entire round in a retreat, almost like, gee, he thought that that he was given the first 3 with the eye, and that's the way it was going to be once the eye cleared. So this is a new fight right now.
And we were talking about the leaky defense of Merqui Sosa. He uses both hands to block punches, and that's not a good thing to do.
Quick left by Sosa to start the 5th round. This is a scheduled 12-rounder. As we said, Frank Liles, as this goes deep, has only been +8 rounds twice, and Sosa's been +8 rounds 7 times. So Sosa certainly has the experience, and he is far more aggressive here, but Liles caught him coming in with a quick right uppercut.
Nice right. Sosa with a good left to the body.
Sosa, the stalker right now, as he said, the right eye troubling in rounds 1, 2, and 3 is cleared enough that he feels confident enough to come in and wing his powerful punches.
A lot of people don't know, but Emmanuel Stewart had Frank Liles first in Detroit at the Kronk Gym and let him go to the Goosens about a year and a half ago and said he wasn't up to par.
Currently 20-1, but we said his opponent sheet not dotted with any future Hall of Famers. Tim Little's by far and away his most telling victory. Or, excuse me, opponent check that he lost to Tim Little.
Well, Emmanuel had him fighting at a much higher weight, and more or less thought of him as a light heavyweight. And he had a couple of guys coming up at that time, one notably called Leonza Barber. And he gave his attention in that direction, and Frankie found himself out in Sherman Oaks, California, training with the Goosens at their gym. Good left hand by Liles.
Liles doing a nice job here in round number 5, taking control of the fight again, and Sosa, a lot of ineffective aggression. Midway through round number 5, and Frank Liles trying to regain control. And
that is the key to the fight, the body punches.
Toby Gibson, this is about the 3rd time that he has stopped the fight to once again get his point across about holding, grabbing, and not paying attention to the rules.
I got to tell you, personally, I think what he's doing is unnecessary. Good right hand by Sosa. I don't think that these guys are being overly aggressive or holding too much, and I think Toby
over-refereeing possibly.
My opinion.
Keep it clean.
Sosa on the attack, and Liles fighting pretty decently. There's a low blow, and taking a point away from Merqui Sosa is Toby Gibson.
Well, that's without a warning.
Yeah, well, he said he warned him earlier when he went to the corner, but straight up, Toby Gibson being a little zealous tonight.
Right hand.
And that's what he's got to throw. That right hand lead is what it's all about for Merqui Sosa.
So Sosa's dug himself a pretty good hole here in the first 5 rounds, at least from our vantage point and our scorecards here.
He's not finding the head of Frank Liles that easy to hit on. He should be aiming for the sternum area, right around the chest.
Another point.
That was not low.
No.
That blow was not low.
We are watching a referee.
I hope we can get the replay. That was not a low blow. That one was.
Could have disqualified Merqui Sosa. I don't know. Is he going to take a...
Now he calls that one a knockdown.
Toby Gibson, the crowd not real happy. That is the end of round 5. One of the wildest 5th rounds of any boxing we've seen. two stoppage of fights because of low blows. One looked like a low blow. The second one, I don't think was.
Well, let me make something clear right now. The judges do not have to make it a 10-8 round just because there was a knockdown. In this particular case, and I'll be interested to see how Pedro has it, I scored the round for Sosa 10-9 and then made it 9-9. Here come some of the blows. Pedro will be with you in 1 second.
Point deduction right there.
Definitely, though.
Now, that's a low blow, but I think that was the... Well, yeah, that one was low. That was the knockdown.
Yeah.
But there were actually three. We're looking for the one that was actually called the low blow, not the warning shot, the one that cost them the point.
Let's go, Joe.
They will be putting this...
Pedro, how did you have the round?
I gave it 9-8. 9-8 to Liles.
9-8 for Liles. So you saw it as a 10-8 round for Liles?
No. They took a point away. They took 2 points away from Sosa.
Not 2. No, we only had 1 point taken away.
Well, I thought Toby took
I thought he
2
said
points.
took 2 points away.
2 points.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll have to clarify that. I'm not...
God damn it.
There he goes, another point.
Toby Gibson once again penalizing Merqui Sosa a point. So Sosa has probably one option as far as this reporter is concerned. Needs a knockout.
You know what's funny is he has to work the body in order to knock Frank Liles out, and Toby Gibson's not allowing him to work the body.
Lyles going on
Big
the attack
cut
right now.
Big cut on Sosa's right eye. Big cut.
Right above us. And Frankie Liles trying to end his night work. As we said, the right eye of Sosa right now. You can see.
Timeout.
This fight has had more timeouts than...
Well, Toby Gibson calling the doctor in now. Let's see. That's that same eye that was closed. It probably was puffy.
Robert Boy is your ringside physician, and we'll see if they get a very close look at it. It could be just one of those nights for Merqui Sosa. First a thumb in the eye, now a cut over the right eye. I think they'll let it continue here in round number 6. And
Toby wanted to stop the fight.
Yeah, Toby's expression was he can't believe the doctor let it go. Now we're really going to get through this round. He's really going to test his
right
corner.
above us is Frank Liles on the attack. Merqui Sosa just fighting out of desperation, and the crowd certainly feeling it. I think Sosa realizes the desperation of the situation. He's just going to have to wing it big time, but
he's got to get through this round to get this corner a chance to work on that eye.
that is a nasty cut over the right eye. We're in round number 6.
And the one thing his corner's got to do is keep the doctor away long enough for them to start working on it. And that's what hurt them earlier in the fight.
Frank Liles looking at that left eye and shooting his left inside, although Sosa trying to fight back with his patented right hand.
Oh, good left.
Merqui Sosa fighting on guts and little sight right now.
He hurt Frank Liles, though, with that left hook.
That is a nasty cut. I would not be surprised if
Frank Liles should be fighting on the outside, working that eye, and getting aggressive.
Big shot by Liles, the crowd. Sosa fighting off the ropes.
Another great main event on the Sports Bar and Racetrack Network.
Merqui Sosa badly cut. Liles just shooting the left in there. Holding on is Frank Liles. Toby Gibson stopping it again. Now he just sees his opening and he continues to try to pressure him. Sosa realizes this might be the last couple seconds for him to get something done, because that is a nasty cut, and I anticipate this fight will be stopped.
You know, when the blood's that red, it usually means an artery's been broken. And that blood is dark purple red.
And he's teeing off on Frankie Liles big time in this round. He's getting the left and the right in. Frankie's keeping that right very low. He keeps dropping that right. Sosa's going to come over the top with a left hook, and it's going to be all over.
Round 6 is concluded. Liles heads to his corner, as does Merqui Sosa, and Miguel Diaz and company will go to work very quickly on the right eye of Merqui Sosa.
The work is strenuous. Get a brochure.
And that usually, correct me if I'm wrong, Pedro, takes about a round to clot.
It sure does.
So he's got to get through this round.
He's got to buy some time.
Round number 7, our main event, the NABF super middleweight title on the line, and the man in the purple trunks has given it his all, but Frank Liles in the white trunks is just trying to now pick apart at that right eye of Merqui Sosa. Sosa's had as many as 2 and possibly 3 points deducted for low blows. And Toby Gibson coming in to get a good close look at that right eye.
Yeah, and he came in, he lost a good blow. It was a great low blow by Sosa.
Gibson stopping the fight.
Toby Gibson seems to be going out of his way to be a jerk for as far as Merqui Sosa is concerned.
Now they're working on the tape on the, looks like the left hand of Merqui Sosa. They won't put this one in the archives of the Boxing Hall of Fame, I'll tell you that.
No, but they might use this one on a clinic for referees.
Round number 7, Liles, Sosa, NABF super middleweight title on the line. And Sosa's, his only way is to go forward. That's his whole style. And he might be best to stay away for this round.
That is a 1-inch cut. Oh, that is a big cut.
Sosa trying to get to the body. Frank Liles shooting the right jab from outside. Now the left comes through and they almost clash heads. Sosa fighting off the ropes.
Liles a lot more effective this round, fighting him from the outside, not letting Sosa get set to throw those rights and lefts over the top. But he's got to keep the jab going. He can't just be content.
Another low blow right there. Now the right comes over up top. It's amazing.
Liles has to throw that jab if he's going to stay on the outside. He has to. There it is.
Liles has been sucking wind for 2 rounds. Mouth's hanging. Maybe he's not in the best of shape. Although those breadbasket shots have an effect. Look at Liles grabbing and holding after taking the body shots.
See, about a minute to go in round number 7. Merqui Sosa has probably one option, and that's to score a knockout with all the points he's had deducted.
Good right hand by Sosa.
Well, if there's some consolation in that cut is that the blood's not running into the eye, it's running down the face.
That's the only thing that's keeping Merqui in the fight right now. Otherwise, it would be over. Good uppercut by Sosa.
Sosa keeping the pressure on. As you said, Liles has done most of his best work from outside, but Sosa just keeping the pressure on. Inside 30, round number 7.
Sosa can steal this round if he finishes strong. And he needs every point he can get right now, Huey.
Without question. Inside 15, Frank Liles picking and choosing his shots. Long left lands, not with the kind of power he'd like.
I don't like my gray hair, but I'm money-saving coupons.
Good rap by Joe Goosen in the corner. Good rap.
Round at number 8, scheduled 12. Merqui Sosa, Frank Liles, vying for the NABF Super Middleweight Championship. And it's been a fight with just about everything you want.
Now, Joe Goosen is given a good rap, and I think that 20 years from now, he'll be looked upon as one of the great motivators in the class with Angelo Dundee. He really knows how to move a fighter.
The fight's had cuts and butts and stoppages and low blows and headbutts and stoppages again by the referee. And through it all, Merqui Sosa has continued to try to pressure, but Frank Liles appears, at least from our vantage point, to have the edge on the scorecard.
Frankie Liles is breathing through his mouth. He is a very tired fighter right now. Merqui Sosa, with all the advantages that Liles had, shouldn't be here right now.
I agree, 100%.
We are in the 8th round, and this has been only 3 times as Liles fought this deep in his career. This is the 8th time for Merqui Sosa, so if it comes down to conditioning and experience, despite the cut over the right eye, Merqui Sosa might have the edge.
Hey, Huey, with Frankie Liles keeping his mouth open like that, he gets hit with one of Sosa's overhand rights, he's going to get his jaw broken.
Liles trying to just pick from outside where he has been the most effective.
Those are meaningless punches Liles throwing, meaningless punches.
Liles just missed, actually Sosa trying to connect with the lead right hand. Sosa keeping the pressure on. We don't know what kind of effective aggression is the judges much score on. It's been effective at times, but for the most part, it has not been effective.
And tape's coming loose on the right glove of Sosa again. Watch for Toby to stop the fight.
Who, Toby?
Pedro Fernandez not a big fan of Toby Gibson, the referee in this
I have
fight.
to say, Toby Gibson is normally a very good referee. I know how Pedro feels. I disagree with a lot of the moves he's making tonight.
Too zealous, too much
Once
power.
again, another stoppage.
That's for that tape on the right hand that I just mentioned.
Wow, there's been absolutely no flow to this fight whatsoever. There's a look at Merqui Sosa, and obviously the medication over the right eye has helped a little bit, but you can see the blood dripping now as we're about a minute to go in round number 8.
You want to know why there's no flow in this fight? Talk to Toby Gibson.
Okay. On the attack is Merqui Sosa right above us. And that cut over the right eye is certainly now just spewing blood. And Frank Liles certainly can see that as he just picks apart from the outside where he has been the most effective. The right jab and the straight left.
Sosa's got to pour it on again the end of this round.
Inside 20 seconds is Merqui Sosa, as we said, the right eye definitely open, wide open again.
And now, and the blood's getting in the eye now. But a great uppercut by Sosa. He's got Liles hard. Liles got no legs on him right now.
Look at him stagger.
You know, somebody should talk to Merqui Sosa. He might want to start his attack with about 30 seconds to go in the round as opposed to 10 seconds. Because as you mentioned, Arnie, he had Liles rubber legged at the end of round number 8. Pedro, what do you have it right now as far as, I mean, is it still just a pretty big lead for...
No, I've got Sosa biting into that lead, but he's still behind by a few points.
Okay, round number 9. We're in the last quarter of the fight.
You thought Sosa pulled out the last round, Pedro?
I thought he did barely.
All right, we're in round number 9, and Sosa trying to land those big shots that he has become known for. They feel he is the hardest hitter at 168.
Well, he showed that he can rock Frankie Liles and put him on rubber legs. He's got at the end of the last round. If he can do it earlier in the round, as you mentioned, that's all he's going to need.
He's got that uppercut zeroed in on the jaw, and the mouth has been open since about the 6th round, as Pedro pointed out.
Wide open, and he's drooling. Good overhand right by Sosa.
A gallant effort, and he just continues to punch away. This fight was almost stopped about a half dozen times or so, it appeared, and he's still out there punching with everything he's got. Merqui Sosa.
No shortage of stones on the part of Merqui Sosa.
Two 26-year-olds.
What do you mean by stones, Pedro?
Intestinal fortitude.
I got you.
Good stuff, Pedro. I learned something from you. These new words, great stuff. Round number 9.
That's an old mafia term.
Okay. Now, your father was in the mafia. Your mom was from Norway.
Oh, my God.
Get out of here. Now Frank Liles on the attack. As Sosa looks like he punched himself out early in this round number 9. We were halfway through this one. Oh, another clash of heads at center ring.
And right on the cut.
Yes. Sosa right above us.
It'll be real interesting, though. Frankie Liles winds
Look
up
at
with a
Frank
cut,
Liles
too.
holding. I think Toby ought to talk to Frank Liles about his holding.
I don't know who's working harder here, Merqui Sosa, Frank Liles, or Toby Gibson. Liles is definitely on E on the gas tank. There's no doubt about that, because every time he backpedals, his legs seem to lose. But just doing enough to keep Sosa from just winging it at will.
No, let him up.
Tape coming loose on the left hand of Sosa again.
Oh, we got to be careful. Gibson will take a point away from
No.
Merqui Sosa trying to keep the pressure on. Trying to land now the left uppercut. The right uppercut did the damage at the end of round number 8.
He's got that same, let's see if he does the same 30-second attack here.
Sosa trying to land up as you see him cock that right hand as he comes in, throwing it over the head of Frank Liles.
I got to tell you something. Liles is dead tired.
Go, quit hold. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's get back to the fight. Pedro's thrown his shoulder out, patting himself on the back. Let's get back to boxing. Round number 10. Frank Liles, who is breathing very heavily since about round number 7, and Merqui Sosa, who has been fighting adversity since about 30 seconds into this fight, is still right there.
Who would have thought that he'd still be here? Certainly not Frankie Liles or Liles' corner.
As you said, a nice job in the corner again by Miguel Diaz and co. Working on the cut and the swelling, and their man is still out there with a puncher's shot right now.
Well, not only a puncher's shot, Hugh, we have only gotten behind by 1 point, 85-84 after 9 rounds.
Wow.
Good body shot. Right to the liver.
He's really punching big time at Frankie Liles, and you see Liles continues just to backpedal.
Every time that cut starts to flow again, that was Sosa's wake-up call.
You know what's funny is when Toby Gibson separates the fighters, he never looks at Frank Liles. He always looks at Merqui Sosa like Merqui's the bad boy.
Right above us is Sosa trying to dig in and maybe try to land that effective uppercut, which has gotten him some very good results. Frank Liles doing some nice sharpshooting from outside, the jab, and then the nice uppercut. A nice combination by him, and then he holds, and they end up in the ropes. And well, Toby Gibson finally. Now Toby Gibson scolds Frank Liles for the second time for holding.
One of the reasons that he continues, though, to look at Sosa in defense of Toby this time is that the doctor cannot stop the bout. Toby's taking the advice from the doctor, but the doctor can't stop it. It's going to be up to either the corner or Toby Gibson.
Round number 10. Frank Liles and Merqui Sosa, 168-pound belt in the NABF, is on the line. And we're on the Bar and Racetrack Network, and this has been a controversial, action-packed fight from about 30 seconds into round number 1.
2 shows in a row for us. Let's not forget how great Lopez Stokes was. And next month, I'm telling you, Orlin Norris and Dennis Andres. That's going to be quite a fight. Andres, 3-time light heavyweight champion.
And Orlin Norris, of course, a gentleman who has fought as a heavyweight, has gone down to cruiserweight, feels he can do the most damage at that weight class. Brother, of course, of the what many people consider the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today, Terry Norris.
Well, Orlin Norris ranked number 1 by all 3 major governing bodies in the cruiserweight division. Looking to fight Wamba, possibly Bobby Ches in the near future. But he's not going to have any walkover with Dennis Andres.
I don't like my money-saving coupons.
We head into the last 6 minutes of our main event. NABF super middleweight title, Merqui Sosa, Frank Liles. And you heard how close the scorecards were, at least with Arnie and Pedro. So we'll have to see how the official scores have it, but we're heading into the last 2 rounds, and Merqui Sosa would appear to need to be impressive and land some big shots.
Well, as they say, this is Las Vegas.
Anything goes.
Anything goes on those scorecards. Seen it all here.
Nice right hand by Liles as he looks to retake control here.
But he's dropping that left, and Sosa came right over the top with the right and stopped him.
As we said, Frank Liles has only been +8 rounds twice in his career. This is the 3rd time, and this is the 8th time for Sosa. So he definitely has, if there is this thing as edge and experience, deep into a fight. Sosa continues to try to pressure, and Liles shooting that right jab out there and going after the right eye with that left.
Liles is cutting now over the left eye from a clash of heads.
Oh, that is right. So both fighters are now cut, although certainly the most serious one is over the right eye of Merqui Sosa. Liles doing sharpshooting from outside.
And that cut just doubled in size in Frankie Liles' eyes. The right hand came over the top from Merqui Sosa. This could be a strange turn of events.
So we get a look at the left now, snaps back the head of Frank Liles.
Liles is retreating now. He knows. Look at that cut now on Liles.
Yep.
And you said this is when he went to the shell against Tim Littles back on July 8th.
There's Liles holding again, holding big time. Take the point, Toby.
The difference is, Huey, that was in the second round. He's got one more round to go after this.
And he's got Joe Goosen in his corner. You don't quit on Joe Goosen.
No, not if you want to come back to that gym on Friar Street in Van Nuys, California again.
Liles trying to stay away from Sosa. Sosa continues to try to pressure, but has not been that effective here in round number 11 with the wild shots from outside. Another low blow, and that'll be...
I don't think that was low. That was on the belt line.
Absolutely right, Pedro. It was on a belt line. It was not a low blow. To take a point away at this point in the fight for that, I don't get it. No, I'm sorry.
Sosa trying to land the wild right. As you see a nasty cut over the left eye of Frank Liles. The right eye has been cut with Sosa since the 4th round.
We talked about referees being overzealous. I remember referee Richard Steele warned Ray Leonard about holding about 30 times.
Round number 11 is concluded, and we'll go down to the last 3 minutes.
To take a point for that shot, I don't think is fair, especially with what's going on in this fight so far.
Merqui, go ahead. We're ready for round number 12, the 12th and final round. They'll meet at center ring. Toby Gibson, Merqui Sosa, and now implored by the referee for a clean fight. The two combatants go at it.
Well, looking at my score sheet, I've got a 105-102 favoring Frank Liles to give him a 2-point margin in that last round because Toby took the point away.
Sosa and Liles both with cuts, but certainly the most serious cut is over the right eye of Sosa. Liles, as you heard Joe Goosen say, over the left side of his eye, so that is not as dangerous. Sosa asked to land the big shot, but Liles doing the damage here in round number 12. Some beautiful combinations.
Sosa's trying to get his legs back. Sosa's hurt. Sosa's on Queer Street.
This could be stopped.
Sosa is on Queer Street. He does not know. This fight's going to be ended. Toby Gibson's looking for an excuse to end it. It's going to be over.
But he's trying to fight back.
And he should stop it. Now he should stop
That'll do it. Merqui Sosa held back by the referee, and Joe Goosen picking up his victorious fighter.
That was a good stoppage.
I think it was a good stoppage. And I got to say this, Frank Liles got more medals and more medal and more stones than I gave him credit for going into this fight.
Merqui Sosa scorecard had more deductions than Arnie's tax return, but he'll continue to try to get some things done in the super middleweight division. But there's your victorious Frank Liles, upping his professional mark now to 22-1, winning the NABF super middleweight title with a 12th round stoppage of a game cut, battered, bruised Merqui Sosa. There is your victorious Frank Liles.
Well, Toby was correct in stepping in this time. Here comes the right uppercut, the left cross. Frank Liles' right hook. Sosa trying to come back with ineffective punches. You know, there's a lot of... We're looking at another angle here. Yeah, this is when the referee stops fight, and justifiably so. The only correct actions I think Toby Gibson took tonight. See, he allowed Sosa to try to fight back. When he couldn't, bang, time to stop the fight.
Beautiful, good stoppage. Chuck Hall has the official time, up to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give the time, I'd like to remind you that the next card to be held here at the Riviera Hotel will take place on the 25th of November. The main event will feature a USBA Cruiserweight Championship bout, 12 rounds, between Olin Norris and Dennis Andres. Also on that card and returning to the Riviera here is Eric Griffin, who you saw tonight in his successful pro debut. Ole Clemenson, also successful in his pro debut. A heavyweight who almost beat the Cuban champion in the Olympics, Daniel Nicholson, will make an appearance, along with Chris Bird, making his pro debut after being in the Olympics in '92. So mark that on your calendar, November 25th, here at the Riviera Hotel and on the Bar and Racetrack Network. Now the decision. of the NABF Super Middleweight Championship bout. The time was 1 minute of the 12th round. The winner and new NABF Super Middleweight Champion from Sherman Oaks, California, Frank Liles.
No one has money to burn, especially
300.
And that is Frank Liles, who will wear that belt very proudly. The NABF Super Middleweight Championship belt is worn by Frank Liles, Joe Goosen and his trainer. And we are set to go up inside the ring and talk with the victorious Frank Liles and Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal.
Frankie, congratulations.
Thanks a lot,
I mean, did you, with the way the first 3 rounds went, did you expect to see him standing there at the 12th?
No, I didn't. But then again, I can say I have to give Merqui a lot of credit because I've seen him in the past and he's never been stopped before. I've never even seen him knocked down. I've heard he's been buckled before, but I never would have thought that I was going to stop him. I knew it was going to be a tough, long, hard road. But I got Joe here, and we've been working together, and we got a new attitude together, and everything worked out really well. And my favorite, and I have my brother in the corner too. That also gave me added confidence.
What about the low blows? He had 3, 4 points. We weren't even clear how many points. We lost track.
Well,
what about the low blows? Were they bothering you?
I didn't want to let them bother me because I know that regardless, I had a bad experience in previous bouts where I've left it up to the referee and then just nothing was called. So the best thing to do is just to continue to go and just let the referee be the judge of things. So that's what I try to do.
Okay, well, we're going to take a look here at what exactly happened here in the 12th round, and we hope we are. There we go. And you take a look there. What's going on?
Accumulation of shots. I just knew I just had to stand there and just stay busy, and that's what I did. I just wouldn't give up. There was no quit. No laxing in there with me tonight.
Well, yeah, because we were surprised. We heard Joe. You said before the fight was over, and going into the 12th round, you thought that you were way ahead on points, but then you weren't content just to let it go by decision.
Well, he told me to go in there and go after him, and that's what I did, but I'm glad that I did it because Merq's a tough guy, and he's always in a fight. I mean, he's the type of guy that's always dangerous. I mean, he comes back. He's an awkward guy to fight, and he throws punches from all angles.
Well, guys, there's 3 super middleweight champions. You got Nigel Benn, Iram Barkley, Michael Nunn. Well, take your pick.
If Michael Nunn can get past this next fight, we want Michael. It's a personal thing.
Joe, you have a comment on that?
Well, Frankie just made it for me as far as who I'd like next. I think it'd be a great matchup, number 1. Number 2, I think there'd be a lot of interest generated because of the story, number 2. But I'll tell you, I want to get off the track here and just compliment Frank Liles because that was a rugged fighter he was in there with. And to stop Merqui Sosa, a big feather in his cap, and shows that he is really going to be the super middleweight to be reckoned with in the next year.
I have a couple of thank yous to make. I have to thank Jack O'Halloran and his wife because they helped me get in shape and they worked with me as well. And all of the support from my fans and family back in Syracuse, New York. Thank you.